to record it.
Okay. So we just started the meeting. I forgot to record it from the most beginning. I apologize. What we did, we approved 2 minutes from the special meeting on October 28th with one amendment that it was a special meeting, not policy committee meeting. And we approved the minutes from October 9th Board of Directors regular meeting. That's all what we did. So now we are recorded. And I apologize for that. Next, our old business. We'll start from the old business. During our special meeting, we went through our bylaws and policies of the libraries, and on the base of our bylaws and policies, we amended the requirements for the director's position. We did not make those amendments to the policies or bylaws. We just amended the job requirement for the director needed for our advertising. Today, that happened last meeting. Today, we will approve all those changes which we made. So we would implement them in our policies and bylaws accordingly. I'm just going to read them all at once for the time, for the sake of the time, being time conservative. So point 1, which we amended in director's job description, is the qualification of the Wellington Public Library directors. Now it will read, bachelor's degree in bachelor's degree in library science, business administration, or related field, or equivalent combination of education and experience. This is how it will be reading. We added business administration or related field. That was number 1 change in qualifications of the requirement for the Wellington Public Library director. Point 2, we changed, there was a conflict between Article 5 in Wellington Public Library bylaws and policies of Wellington Public Library on page 40, which describes director's job description. There was a conflict which we settled down, and now it will read that the library director will be responsible for recruiting, hiring, and terminating staff with notification to the library board of directors. Appeals regarding terminations will be submitted to the library board of directors. The library board of directors' decision will be final. This is how it will read. This is point 2, which was changed and amended. I would say it was fixed. Hold on. Oops, Karen, I did not see. Not Karen, sorry, Cassie. Cassie joined us. Thank you, Cassie.
I apologize. I lost power, so I had to restart my entire computer. It took a while to boot up. I apologize.
It's okay. Don't worry. We are happy you're with us. Thank you for joining us. So we're just going through the changes, through the amendments to our bylaws and policies, which we made during our previous meeting. So point 3, which we changed.
Oh, one question. Did you already approve the minutes?
Yes.
There was an error, but okay.
Error where? Okay.
Well, okay, so it was.
Okay, let's come back to it later, okay?
Okay, continue.
Yes. So now we are talking about point 3, which we changed, addressed, and we changed in the director's job description. Now it will read that the library director is responsible for the preparation of the initial budget. The library board of directors will review and approve the library budget provided by the library director. So now the director has a sole responsibility in preparing the budget and submitting it to the board for the approval. Number 4 change, which we which we already voted for the job description, but not as a change of our policies and bylaws, which we are doing right now. Number 4 change is to add in the director's preferred qualifications to add master's degree in library science or MBA. That's all. Those are all the changes which we approved during our previous meeting, special meeting. And now I would like to make a motion to implement these changes into our bylaws and policies accordingly. Do I have the second?
I'll second.
Okay, Karen Ann seconds. Any discussion? Okay. Go ahead, Debbie.
Just a quick question, Lena. Is that something that you're going to pass on to us so we can actually physically have it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And plus, it's already what I did. I read it from the minutes. So it's already available to the public. It's on the minutes from our special meeting on October 28th. On our previous regular meeting, we informed the public that this change will come, that we will be voting on it during this meeting. So we followed our amended bylaws. So we did a previous notice on the previous regular meeting, and during today's meeting, we have a full right to vote for it and implement them. So the motion is on the floor. It was seconded. So if there is no more questions, I would like to put it for the vote. So everyone who is agreeing to implement these changes into our bylaws and policies, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Joanne, what's your vote?
I haven't been in on the discussion. I should abstain.
Okay, Joanne abstains. That's okay. So the motion passes. So all the bylaws and policies in regard with our director's job description is fixed now. Thank you, Lord. Now, moving on. Okay. Next in our agenda is questions regarding hiring new director. Approving of the advertising post. Karen Ann sent us, it was shared, the post, she sent it to everyone. Did everyone have a chance to look through the post?
I did, and I responded to you all by email. If content-wise, I'm fine with it. Is it okay if I clean up grammar and syntax?
Please, please.
Okay.
I'm a chemistry major, not an English major.
Yeah, I know, that's fine. If we're approving it, I would like to not proofread it right here on the fly. Do we have to approve this job description as is, or what's the procedure?
We can approve it with a grammatical change. Well, how about this? You're going to change only grammar.
Correct.
This advertising.
Correct.
So
I think there's more that needs to be done than just grammar, because I think, for example, I didn't get a mission statement till Deb put up the tax stuff. I don't know what we need to put in for salary and benefits, which are not in the job description. So it's not done yet.
yes.
I need to stretch of the imagination.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
started.
Definitely. So that's absolutely okay. We actually don't even have to vote on it at this point. All we have to do, because we can always change it. It's not something which is a law. We can always come and change and demand. That's very flexible thing. We have to find a hiring committee. I'm sorry, Joanne, did you want to say anything? Did you want to say something?
You really do need to have the salary and benefits.
Absolutely.
It goes out to the public. So I think that it should be held until the grammar's corrected and those parts are put in. I don't think that you want to vote on a partial.
Oh, no, we're not going to vote on it. It's not really for the voting, the question. But we do have in the agenda, and the next question is so first of all, we're going to fix grammar. Then, second of all, we have to discuss the question in according with our agenda, discussion on the salary, director salary. So I had a privilege to talk to one director who is extremely professional from the town in our area. And that director, I am impressed with how that, I don't want to mention the name of the library and the name of the director at this point. But that director, I really listened. It gave me a very good reason to listen to that director. But our salary is on the same level as their salary.
Mhm.
And the director is doing a great job there. And they actually did. I just want to say something. It's an excellent opportunity to say it. That library, which is the town, is very similar to our town, like in our area. They in grants they requested, so they had the same budget, 190,000, and they got in grants 195 on top of the budget just this year. So this is an opportunity for us, and that person, that director, is willing to help us out in any possible way. So I'm just throwing it there that we're already not alone. We have somebody to help us out. So maybe you could, she's more than ready to help us with all the grants application and whatever we could get. So discussion on the library, on the salary. 45,000, that's what we had. It was something more, 45 with change. The question, do we change it or not? Go ahead, Karen.
Are we going with last year's salary, which was 41 and change? Because I actually did some research on library positions throughout the state. And what we paid Clee before the extra $7,000 that he got apparently from his medical stuff is not out of line for small towns in this. The most expensive one I found online was Mystic in some historical library they had, and they were only paying 50,000.
Yes.
So, but I didn't put it in because, like I said, last year's budget, it's 41 and change. And so I didn't know if that's what we were going with or if that was
We ended up, I don't know how, but we ended up budgeting for 45,000. It was 45,000 with some change, whatever we budgeted. I would just, 41 for some reason did not work. So there is what I wanted to suggest. We really, with a hole in our budget, with a history of over budgeting many thousands last year, I would be more conservative towards putting the salary, but the person needs to have salary. I mean, good, they need to have an adequate paying. So my suggestion is for us, if we cut the amount of hours required for the director to be in the library, for example, not 35, now we have 35 or 36 hours requirements to be in the library. If we'll make 25 hours per week and keep the salary 41,000, I'm just an example. 25, for example, 25 hours during the week, and we can do 30 hours during the week and keep the salary low. Go ahead, Karen.
We have to have a salary range. If we're going to put in minimum requirements or a bachelor's or education and experience, but we prefer a master's, we can't offer a bachelor's and a master's the same salary. So we have to say something like 41 to 45, depending on qualifications. We shouldn't just have a flat number for anybody coming in.
Yeah, that's common in these things. That would be a common way to do it, yes.
Okay, I agree. And also, do we want to consider cutting the amount of hours requiring? Because the previous director, he was sometimes not even 10 hours a week in the library, although he was required to be there 35 hours a week in accordance with his contract. So until I started to point it out, he fixed it. But hold on, Debbie. Go ahead, Joanne.
Hold my breath here. Huh? This is a salaried position. It does not depend on hours, number one. Number two, the number of hours spent is where your evaluation, whether it's on the 6-month or the yearly basis, it can be part of that evaluation. Spending time in the library is one thing. If you are going to other meetings around the state or with librarians in the area, that time counts too. So it's a little bit, it's a little bit tough with a supervisory position like this, but that is part of your evaluation. Are they spending good time? Are they good time management? And if the library is not being managed because they're not there, well, then, they need to cool off.
Joanne, our policies in job description clearly describes that the director is required to be there 35 hours. That's our policies. That's a law in our town. So that's not optional for us. At this point, the person whom we hire, he needs to spend 35 hours in our library or around the business in our library, not like sitting, but if he has meetings somewhere.
He has to spend 35 hours on job.
That's our
right.
policy.
That's good. That's
That's
good.
our policies.
That's good. And so you're saying not in the library, but on job.
Well, because obviously there could be
Yeah.
trainings, it's all
If he
included.
has to go to Hartford, he has to go to Hartford.
Yeah.
So we say that he needs to spend 35 hours on library business.
But it
Basically
is,
in the library.
yes, but it is requirement. If he's not there, he will have to have, he doesn't have to provide like a written explanation where he spent time, but he needs to, the person needs to know that he is accountable for the timing spent in the library.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, Debbie, what did you want to say?
Well, a number of things. Joan's right in that it is a salaried position. I've seen where, and now you have to keep in mind benefits. It just as of recently went up to 35. It used to be 29 and a half, then it went to 30 so that people could get benefits. Then it was at 32, then it went to 35. So the raise in the hours as far as how much time they had to be here. And you're right, now they are held accountable. Before they weren't. They're actually supposed to fill out or clock in what they used to do on a time clock. Now we're back to paper to save money. So they are accountable, or once upon a time they weren't accountable. But a lot of the hours that they worked wasn't so much written anywhere as far as policy. That's something I think you have some leeway with, but just that they have to, you're right, be accountable for it. And also the higher the hours went, they also got more benefits. I'm not sure how that worked out, but that was just the practice. Why, I don't know, but.
Yes, we do have benefits. I don't think we really know exactly what kind of benefits. We'll have to get in touch with our financial director in town.
When you mention like 25 hours, I don't think people can get certain benefits with that little amount of hours.
Okay, so we'll have to figure it out. Yeah. But there is, what I'm saying, there is a flexibility if we want to get a good person, but we can't afford to pay him enough. So that's one of the ways. Well, at this point, Karen made a very good point to make a range. So which range? I would like to vote now for the range of the salaries for the new position.
I would like to ask a question. I mean, does this come out of our total budget, which has already been approved by the Board of Finance? I mean, can we just throw numbers around and ask that our person be paid a certain amount without getting approval from financial end of town?
Well, we are independent, totally independent from the town.
Well, that's what I'm asking, but this 40, whether it's 35 or 31, or sorry, 45 or 41, and the benefits are unknown at this time, I don't know, do we need, does that come out of our total budget, which has already been approved, independent of the town?
So we budgeted 45,000 salary, and the benefits 10,000. As far as
benefits 10,000.
Get an in.
Yeah, I talked to Erica about this, and she said that basically, no, Deb?
You shouldn't be talking to Erica about stuff with the library.
Okay, we will talk about it later.
Okay, it wasn't directly about the library, okay? I was just talking about how things worked in town. And she basically just told me which is why we weren't talking about library stuff, because she said the library's independent. You can do whatever you want. We give you money and then you do what you want with it. I wasn't asking her questions about the library in particular. I was curious about some stuff. And she said the library is completely independent, so it's up to us. It's not, the town has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
They give us the 190, whatever it is, thousand, and then it's up to us to do beyond that.
So at this point, I would strongly suggest, because last year and the previous years, quite a few years in a row, we over budgeted. We went over budget, thousands and thousands, unless this year, I don't know, 30,000. So my suggestion, so we would have a special meeting with middle of the year budgeting. So we would understand how much left, how much we are going to spend. So we would have time to adjust, and we would not be again in the situation that in May we have no money to pay for the library business, and two months, May and June, no money. So that's my suggestion. But at this point, I suggest listening to Karen Ann to vote and to approve for the ad, because that's only really what I feel like we need to approve for the advertising of this position, to put the amount between 41 to 45,000. What do you think? I make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the amount of salary paid to the director of the position is in the amount between 41 to 45,000, depending on the level of education
And experience.
and experience, definitely. So do I have a second?
Discussion after I
Do I have a second? Second. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah Jean, seconds. Okay, so now we have the motion on the floor. Let's discuss. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cassie.
what are the towns, I mean, you said that this is totally in keeping with this area and this size town. Do we have some comps? I mean, what does Ashford pay? What does Tolland pay? What does Mansfield pay? Do we know exact numbers? Go ahead, I mean.
I do know the exact number for the library in so I can say, so we are in that range, let's put it this way. So I don't want to say anything wrong because it's not really our town. So, but we are in the good range in our district. We are in normal range. Go ahead, Karen.
You guys should have gotten something from me, and if you didn't, I apologize, of job ads from other places in the state, and that's where I was getting my numbers from.
No, I did not get anything.
Okay.
I got it.
You got it? No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
It was in the email stream.
Because like I said, I was looking to see how they wrote their job ads and what their numbers looked like. So you should have had at least a couple from there.
The median salary for the United States is about 41 or so for the whole country. So this would be very much in line.
So go ahead, Debbie.
I was going to say, if you want some guidelines as far as when you talk about what different libraries are paying for different positions, the state library actually, if you look on their website and go to statistics, they'll give you all kinds of information for what you want to do with the salary, and also for job descriptions or for benefits or different things. They do it every year. They pull information from all the.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
No, but you can find that information for what you're looking for right now.
Yeah. Well, there is one big but towards it all. It's how much we can afford.
Oh yeah.
So we cannot afford, I would love to pay somebody 60,000, but we can't afford it. So that's what we can afford. It aligns with other libraries in the district. So I think we should personally go with it. But let's vote for it. If anybody else wants to say anything. Okay, then let's vote. The motion is on the floor to approve the salary salaries, director's salary in the range between 41 and 45,000. So everyone who is ready to approve it, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody who abstained? Okay, so Joanne, Sarah, Karen Ann, Elena, yes, Hope, and Cassie abstained. So the motion passes. So this is a salary. Now, deciding where we are going to start posting the ad. So Debbie provided us, at least, thank you, Debbie, as a matter of fact, thank you very much. She provided us in our emails a list of 3, I think, places where she suggests we can place our ad. First of all, we can place an advertising on our page, wellingtonpubliclibrary.org. We can also post on City Librarians and mylist.net. But I have questions about those last 2. Do we have to pay anything for those? They are free. So I would also suggest if suddenly we'll find something else which is free, I think we should go with that. So Karen, and I really would like to hear from you.
Okay, where was CT Librarians is where I found a lot of the local ones, the ones that I had been working with. What was the third one that Deb suggested?
Mylist.net, listing for something, good night moon.
Good Night Moon. It's a library website where different libraries and librarians partake.
My concern with that is we're going to restrict ourselves to people with library science backgrounds because people with an MBA are not going to be looking just on a library site.
Good point. So how about if we'll post somewhere on Indeed or like
Indeed,
yes.
Indeed would probably be a good one because they would they draw in people from other places, and they also recommend jobs that you might be interested in, so they might send it to an MBA.
That's a good one, Indeed. You said Indeed.
So also another moment, maybe we will for a couple 2-3 weeks or for a month, maybe we'll keep advertising in our town, as we do have a lot of professionals in our town. Maybe we can find a good professional within our town, and then it will raise the level of responsibility. You know, working for your own town. No, what do you think, Karen Ann?
I like the idea of finding somebody local, but I don't like the idea of restricting it
Okay.
to somebody local. That's just my opinion. Other people may disagree. That's just my opinion.
No, it's okay. I just suggested. I'm just throwing out there. So go ahead, Gujan.
What if we just do, if you want something more local, even the Hartford Current or something, that would tap into people that, particularly people that may be studying library science in a state university here or something. So what if we go on to the state level with the Hartford Current, go on to Indeed, which is national. CT Librarian, of course, is specific, but that's state level.
Okay, so let's, how about this? How about if we'll move to the next one? How about if we'll trust this question to the hiring committee? So the hiring committee would cover all the free opportunities and the paid opportunities. So we don't know how much is Hartford Current, and Indeed how much it's going to cost us. We'll have to find out before we just say, okay. Maybe they'll charge us $1,000. How do we know? No. So how about if first of all, do we want a hiring committee, or we want to continue to work at, not a lot of us. The difference, to explain you the difference between hiring committee and the board meeting. If we're going to do a special meeting or keep it on the regular meeting, we need the quorum. If we don't have a quorum, we miss it. If we appoint hiring committees, and 2 people really can do it without us, as long we voted on the price range, on the salary range, and then 2 people have an authority to handle all these questions with advertising and correcting the ad. Cassie, did you want to say something? Cassie? No? So what do you think if we will hire, if we will now appoint hiring committee? I wonder if somebody is interested. Karen Ann, I know you are interested to be on a hiring committee.
Just because I've done it so much in my life.
Oh, good. So you don't mind being on a hiring committee?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is anybody else wants to be on a, Joanne? Oh, Cassie.
Say, I'll work with Karen if she wants.
Perfect. Cassie would like to be a, go ahead, Cassie.
No, I didn't have anything to say. I'm offering to participate.
Perfect. Joanne, we can have another person on a hiring committee if you want. You are welcome.
Yeah, I'll work with Karen and Kathy. That would be fine. I wonder if another thing we can propose to them is that I don't know which of the universities here actually have library science majors, and they would know about internships and be able to recommend children or students that have had internships in comparable libraries. So the universities might be a good place to tap into for hiring too.
Yeah, working at UConn, I was actually going to suggest that maybe we advertise in UConn. Okay, I just looked it up. Since I get the Hartford Current, $615.
Oh,
Okay, let's scratch that idea.
yeah.
I thought maybe since it was under the hire an employee job section, it might be cheaper, but no.
Yes. Okay, guys, then so in order for us to move on, so we have a hiring committee. Hope, could you please put it? We don't have to vote for it. It's voluntarily. So Karen Ann, Cassie, and Joanne will be on the hiring committee. And you do not have authority to hire. So you don't have authority. Why it is committee? Because you do not have authority to take serious decisions. But you have authority to fix the ad, to place the ad. Go ahead.
Almost every hiring committee I have been on, I have not had the ability to hire someone.
Yes.
The best I have done is put in ads, go through the job applications, review, rate people, and make recommendations. Hiring committees do not hire.
Yeah, I just wanted for everyone to know in the town that we do not give authority just to 3 people. That's a decision of the whole board. So I just wanted to make it clear. Okay, then we've done this. Can we move on now? So then 3 of you are going to handle the ad where you're going to place it. You just keep us updated. That's all. And hopefully by the next regular meeting, we will have, I just would like to ask you if it's possible to move as soon as possible to fix all the mistakes, put the mission statement in, and put the salary range, and just let it out as soon as possible. Let it out on the library website somewhere so people would know. Go ahead.
I've been typing stuff as we've made decisions. I will do a revised thing and send it out to everybody, and Kathy can do her thing with grammar and stuff, because I will be the first to admit I'm not an English major, so it's not my thing.
It's okay, but we don't have to approve the ad. So we kind of trust it because your ad is built on the base of our bylaws and policies, and that's all fixed and that's all approved. So that's all. So we don't want to, but hopefully by the next regular meeting, we'll have some resumes to consider already. I do hope. So, okay, are we ready to move on? Or somebody else, we want to talk more about it? Okay, moving on then. So now another question. Not a very pleasant one, but we'll have to work on it. Next one is a previous director's debt to the library and the involvement of the lawyer. We received bills from the lawyer, which I think we need to fix it. We need to fix the situation with the lawyer. When we were budgeting, it was all messed up, the budget for this year. And I remember I suggested to budget the lawyer. It was not received well. In result, we ended up with a town lawyer. We cannot have an easy communication with a town lawyer. We have to go through the first select woman. And that's not the right way. That's a conflict of interest, top of it. So we cannot really decide easy questions with a lawyer while we are independent entity. So, but at this point, we have whatever we have and we have to handle. But I'm throwing it in the future that we should have, the library should have its own lawyer. We just allocate like 1,500 for it, every budget. That's what the library used to do. And this year we did not do it and we got into all this money. So we received, if you can all, well, I can't show that paper because it has a person's name on it, so I can put it on the screen. But we received bills from the town lawyer, which state that we have a lot of questions, but the total amount of bills is 3,700. We have no idea. Looks like whatever was related to our dealing with the director, it's probably around $400, but we are not sure. It's not, there is no clarity. Debbie did a great job for the last couple of weeks trying to get in touch with a lawyer, with his office, and there was nothing. Today she was promised that he will call us. We waited for 3 hours from 1 to 4. Nobody called us. So we have the bills mounted to 3,700, and we have no information exactly what they mean. So, but the question is with the previous director. We have a very positive information, Debbie. It is in your report. I'm gonna jump in there. That's okay because it's in the agenda. So if you will look into, you all have Debbie's report, but it's okay even if you don't. We received checks from the previous director. He owed us, Debbie, how much did he owe us total?
Okay, he owed us. Oh my goodness, let me do the calculator. Hold on 1 second. I separated, I don't have it, the total.
Yeah, I think he
Just
owes
add it
us
together.
$4,067. That's Cassie, okay. So $4,067. That's how I just see it.
And 84 cents.
Yep.
84 cents. Thank you. 84 cents. So from that amount, he actually paid us 2,700. So he still owes us 1,300. Debbie, does he still have intention to continue to pay?
He does.
He does have that intention. Nobody can know, but he has that intention. Looking at the bills from the lawyer and knowing that we already owe him 3,700, my suggestions would be just to forget about lawyer's involvement. Plus, there is a big question. I have a big question to the lawyer, because do you remember Cassie and Karen Ann and Sarah Jean during our September meeting, I believe, when he was present, when we had an executive meeting? We ended up meeting, as far as I remember, with a decision that we do not cash the checks, that we do not contact the director, and the lawyer was supposed to contact him and tell him to stop mailing us checks. So the director keeps mailing checks. We have no contact with the lawyer. By the fact that the director is still mailing checks, obviously the lawyer did not do his job yet. Obviously he still did not talk to him, did not communicate him. So I would suggest to dispute those charges, which the lawyer charges us, because what he was supposed to do, he really never did. I may misunderstand something. Maybe he did not charge us for that. So we'll have to talk to the lawyer about it. But at this point, what do you think? If we just forget about the lawyer and wait when the previous director just finished paying it off? Because we may end up paying more to the lawyer. And he already, the previous director already paid us $2,705. He already returned a substantial amount of money, which we still did not cash. We did not touch those checks, but he keeps paying. And I am personally very grateful that he does it. So But I hope he'll continue to do it and then forget about the lawyer. What do you think?
How was this lawyer hired? Was it by the hour or was it by the job?
So we have no idea. We have no idea exactly about the prices because we do not have a straight connecting with a lawyer, which I think is very wrong towards the library.
Yeah.
We need to have, but we have no idea. He just sends us bills. We stay in touch with the lawyer only through the First Select Woman. It's the First Select Woman. I was in the situation back in spring when I contacted from the name of the library, being a vice chair at that time on the library chair, told me to contact the lawyer, which I did. He gave me the information, which we needed, and then he totally backed up, saying, I'm sorry, I did not know you did not coordinate it with the First Select Woman. I need her yes before I start moving with you. So that's okay.
Someplace there has to be an agreement as to how he's going to charge.
Yes.
And you know that a lot of these things that he's got here could be, if he writes anything, he probably didn't write it from scratch. You know, and so I'm questioning how much time he spent on these. And so I just can't believe that you just hire a lawyer without somebody knowing how much an hour.
We did not hire him. That's a town's lawyer. That's a First Select.
But there has to be an agreement with the town or something, but
Yeah,
right
but
now I don't know why.
But there is a big problem we are in now. I'll talk about it later. We have a big problem, our Wellington Library, as I mentioned to you earlier, Joanne, with the state library, because they blame us for serious conflict of interest in our relationships with town, with particularly Select Women, and with friends. There is a lot of, I'll read it later. So at this point, you just wait a little bit, we'll get there. At this point, my question to you all, let's decide. Do we just allow our the previous director continue to pay, and we just say, we can just say to the lawyer, hey, don't do anything else. We just handle ourselves. Go ahead, Karen.
Sorry, my internet glitched, so I had to come back on. Who has all the checks he's paid?
Debbie.
Okay, so the lawyer doesn't have them.
Nope.
They're in the library's hands.
Yes. So,
Can I say a couple of things?
sure, go ahead, Debbie.
To answer a couple of different questions. The lawyer charges $250 an hour. That is written on our invoices. If he charges, say we talk to him for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, it's done by like half-hour increments or by hour increments, not by the minute. If anything, the only thing that we have referred to the lawyer as far as our previous director is concerned, maybe $75, maybe $450 total. Everything prior to that has nothing to do with our prior director. What else was that you guys were asking? I think those were the two questions I was hearing you guys talking about.
So the main problem, is, so we have 30, if don't count those $400, $450, then $3,350 of bills for something we have no idea where it came from. I am on the board for a year, never knew about it. So that's very strange to me. Being on the board and first time hearing about it, I would just you know, whatever, figure it out. But at this point, I really would like a decision from the board. So we would make a motion, or we would decide whether we continue or not with the lawyer for the previous director's problem. Go ahead, Karen.
That's what I want to say.
Hold on, baby.
We actually, when we had met through that Zoom meeting that we had and he spoke with us, there were things said as far as what we were going to do or wanting to do. We had a choice going forward. Nothing was done with that. Because I was wondering how come we were getting checks from our previous director. He had no idea what was going on. Once we had that meeting, nothing prior to that had been done in regards to that situation.
Yeah, that's why when we talked, when I still want to get in touch with that lawyer, Debbie, when he calls you, make sure he talks to me too. I really want to dispute those $450 because I don't think what was done.
Yeah,
So-
no, we need to figure out what all these different bills are for. And it's, you say you've been on the board for over a year, Lena. This is stuff that goes from March this year until the end of September this year. So we should be aware of what all those amounts are.
Well,
because
we don't
before
want,
that, it was a zero balance.
well, we don't
But
want
we're
to
gonna
blame,
listen to them. We'll
we
hear
don't
them.
want to blame. That's where we are all. We had no idea about it. So that's where we are, wherever. We're fixing stuff up. Getting in.
Why does all the stuff from the lawyer that you said, Deb, have Gwen Holland's name on it instead of?
Stop. Getting in.
Okay,
Wait,
okay. I'm
no,
sorry. I just want to know what this stuff is because that's a name I'd never heard of before.
Yeah, so we cannot talk about it. That's already we could get in problem. So I have no idea. We have no idea. We have to talk to the lawyer, and if we decide to discuss anything, if
Okay,
there is
we
anything,
know.
it's an executive meeting. So we
Okay, fine. I'm sorry I mentioned a name, but I have an issue with a lawyer who can't get names right.
well, I have a lot of issues with this particular lawyer, but at this point we have to decide, guys. I would like to say something to him. Do we want to do we need his services, or we could say, hey, it was this question, please do not do anything. We decided to wait for the director to finish paying. What do you think? I do not want. So the situation is next. The director still owes us. He paid us $2,705. He still owes us $1,362.84. So he really paid the greatest amount of money. If we continue with a lawyer, if suddenly he wakes up and remembers that he did not do what he was supposed, and then he does it, and then he charges us, we're gonna just keep wasting money at this point. I would suggest just forget about the lawyer and let's wait. Hopefully, the previous director will finish paying.
Let's just tell the lawyer we want to look at it.
Yeah, we'll
That's
have
right.
to.
We've got to go through this and find out just how much do we owe the lawyer. I've had this issue with the lawyer before. And when I went back and said, I'm not paying this bottom line because this, and this weren't done. And I know because I've, worked as a title searcher, et cetera, about how long it takes to do things. I gave him a check and said, this is what the job is worth. And I never heard from him again. So you can dispute a lawyer bill.
Yeah.
So it's not that you can't. You may not win, but you can't. But Deb's right. We had to look at the law. But I think you're right in that we just say, let's just put it on hold. If he owes us $1,300 and he pays it, well, that would help a lot towards whatever we end up having to pay.
Yeah,
If we continue with the lawyer, we're liable not to get another nickel out of it.
we are in danger to get into more spending. Yes, as a matter of fact, the money which you saw without names mentioned, whatever is it, 2,100 here or maybe more, it started from a ridiculous thing which had no value. It cost the library 2,100. So that's why let's be careful with lawyers. Don't jump on them. Let's try to figure out things ourselves. But we can take a decision. So does anybody else have opinion about it? Okay. Okay, go ahead, Karen.
I personally would just like to know more about what this thing from the lawyer is. If you guys can get a hold of the lawyer and try and figure out what all these charges are and where they stem from, because like I said, if he can't even get the information correct on a bill he's sending, then there's something wrong. So I personally, I don't want to make a decision until we know exactly what all this stuff is.
Well, I would like to have a decision on one thing, on communicating to the lawyers that he does nothing on this case without talking to us. So we just don't want him to move.
Okay.
Otherwise, we could end up in unknown amount of money paid to the lawyer without need.
What
So-
do you mean When you say this case, do you mean the case that we have in front of us? Or the
Yes,
case
with
of the prior
the
director?
previous director, with the previous director.
Okay.
So what do you think? I'll have to make a motion about it. So let me make a motion and we'll continue discussion. Yeah. So I would like to make a motion to,
I have to go to, I'll be right back for, give me 5 minutes.
okay, sure. So we still have the quorum, so we can still continue.
So we're not going to pay
Thank you,
this bill
Kathy.
now, though. We're not going to just go ahead and pay this bill and then tell
No,
them.
no, no, no. We
Okay,
have to know what it is for, and we really want him to do nothing with the previous director thing now at this point.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. If I don't know if we want it, we'll have to vote if that's what we want. How can we formulate that motion? Karen, you're good with that.
Sure I am. If all we're gonna do is say your services are no longer required in the,
In the matter with the previous director.
yeah, what's the word we want to use
Uh-huh.
in the what concerning the previous director?
Matter?
What's it? Because it's not a case yet. It's
No. In the situation,
that's not the correct legal term though.
so
You know, you have to get legalese on this.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be legalese, but it should be something that
Can't you just say
They
that
matter.
we've decided that we want to think about this longer before we pursue it any
Yeah.
further?
Whoever just said matter, I like that term. So if you can just say that you're going to contact the lawyer and ask them just tell him that his services are no longer required in the matter of the previous director of the Willington Library, then I'm good with it if that's all you're doing, but not paying the bill.
I wouldn't terminate him altogether. I would just tell him to
No.
put it on hold, that we don't want anything else at this moment, and we don't want him to pursue it any further without further notice from us or something like that, because we may need him later. You don't know what's going to happen, and if you terminate him.
Oh, no. We have no contract with him. We can't terminate him. We have no contract with him. We have no lawyer.
But what I'm saying is if you end up that you need him again,
Yes. Well,
will he come back and help you, or will he say, go find somebody else? And then you're going to have all those hours billed as that person catches up. So just tell him we want to put it on hold for the moment. Don't fire him altogether. And just that, we want to think about this before we go any further. And just be very, nonchalant but firm about it. And I think you'll be better off. And then if you need him, you haven't totally lost him.
Okay. So this is how it sounds. So the motion is to communicate to Mr. O'Donnell, which is town lawyer, that his services are no longer required in the matter regarding the previous director's debt to the library.
But that's not what Joan said.
What?
That's not what Joan said.
Yeah.
Instead of saying his services are no longer required, she's just saying that
Okay, yes.
that the library board has decided to put the matter
On hold.
of the previous director on hold.
Okay.
And so please do not pursue this at this point. The library board will get back to you.
Okay. So the motion is to put the matter regarding the previous director death the previous director's death on hold. That sounds good?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. I missed that point. Very good. I heard it, but I did not apply it to the direct situation. You have very good point. Thank you, Joanne. So let me make the motion because we still have the quorum. And because Cassie, we don't really know when she's going to come back. She told us at 7:10, after 7, she will leave the meeting for a few minutes. So I would like to, Joanne, do you want to make a motion or you want me to make the motion?
You make a motion. I'm not good at that at all.
Okay, so I make the motion to put the matter regarding to communicate to the Mr. O'Donnell that the board decided to put the matter regarding the previous director's death on hold. Something complicated. Cassie, we need you. Hold on.
I apologize. I messaged you about this. I don't know if you had a chance
We
to
know,
read
we know.
that.
We saw it.
Okay.
We saw it.
What I missed?
So we are trying to make a motion so it would sound right, that we want to ask the Mr. Donald, who is an attorney, town lawyer, to put the matter regarding the previous director's death on hold. Does it sound okay? Okay, then that's how it goes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Sarah Jean. Sarah Jean, second. Okay. Any more discussion on this matter? Okay, we are ready to vote. Everyone who is in agreement with this motion, please signify by saying yay and raising your hand. Saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. The motion passed unanimous. Thank you.
By the
So-
way, who's taking minutes today? I know that Joy had asked.
Hope.
Oh,
Hope. Thank
okay.
you, Hope.
Just wanted to make sure we're recording all these motions.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. So, hiring committee. Okay, we did this. Next, library reopening plans. So that's, I know in Debbie's, it's in Debbie's report. I wonder, Debbie, if you want to jump in and just fill up just this exactly reopening plans question.
Sure. It's pretty self-explanatory on the sheet that we gave you. We've got something going on every day, something special for everybody. We start off, as it says, Monday is our senior day. We have Tuesdays when people can come in and do donations as far as books. Wednesdays are computer, people can come in for the computer usage. We opened up Thursday evenings for people who can't get here during the morning or afternoon. We have Friday as today where anybody of any age can come in. And then on Saturdays, we have especially just for children and families. So we've divided everybody up. We've offered everything that we've always offered. And we're keeping everybody safe at the same time.
Okay, I have a question. Can I ask you something? So the Tuesday is not present in the schedule. Are we doing anything on Tuesday?
Just curbside.
Yeah, just a regular curbside.
Okay.
This way for people that don't want to come into the library. I mean, curbside is all week long anyways, 6 days a week. That hasn't changed. We've just added these things to it to get people into the library.
Okay. Then I personally have another question. You mentioned like Monday, November 2nd, Wednesday, November 4th. That applies to those particular days, or the dates are really just every Monday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday? Every. Okay.
Yes.
And then
That'll last until either the state says with COVID we can't, or that's going to get us at least to the 1st of January. And we'll see, what happens.
okay. And then my other question, why on Saturday we have only 2 hours open? And by appointment, Saturdays people are free. Why can't we like make it longer? Why is the hours short? That's my question.
Safety reasons, that's all. We weren't opening up our regular, either our 6 or 9 hours yet. We were just taking part of the day.
But
that's
why
something
two?
that we can do too as time goes on. As long as everybody's, practicing the safety, and they have been. And also we need to worry about coverage.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Coverage, what do you mean by coverage?
And having people in the library that can wait on the people. You've got to keep in mind that we're waiting on people when they're walking in the door. We're taking temperatures, we're asking questions,
Clean.
we're cleaning constantly. Same thing when people leave. We have to do, for example, computers. People use computers. It's only for a few hours, but every time somebody uses a computer, we have to wash it all down, the whole station, put on new saran wrap on the mouse and on the keyboard. It's, you know, you have only a handful of people here doing everything. And so that's why it's more limited in time. Even though people are here only for those few hours, we're here longer and doing other things so that we're making it safe for them to come in or for the next person to come in or next family.
Okay, Karen.
Yeah, I want to say I appreciate it. I was there first day, Monday, November 2nd as a senior. I got in. But how many people are showing up? Well, how many people showed up last Saturday roughly for that family day? Because I'm just wondering if you get a lot of people coming in from 1 to 3, if it might actually be easier. I understand all the cleaning and all of that, but if it might actually be easier to spread that same amount of people out over a longer period of time to give you more time to clean and stuff. Was it really busy on Saturday?
Yeah, we've been great. All of the schedulings are full. So yeah, no, people are coming in, they're using the library. So, you know, all of our slots are full. We're never empty. And matter of fact, what we've done is we probably have people scheduled 2-3 weeks in advance, which is some kind of hard, not necessarily fair, because some people want to come back week after week. So, you know, we have to, you know, pick and choose, kind of.
How long are your slots and how much space do you give between slots?
It depends on how big the family is. We have half hours or 45 minutes. We have a lot of people in town that have like 4, 5, and 6 children in a family. So we give them a little bit more time for the kids to choose their books. So
and how much time do you give between each appointment?
Well, with the family time, it's like 15 minutes.
Okay. See, that's what I was trying to figure out. If you had enough time to do all that cleaning, because if you'd only had 5 minutes, it's like, well, maybe you should add an extra hour and expand the cleaning time in between. But as long as you're giving yourself plenty of time to clean between everything, because I haven't looked at what the schedule looked like for appointments for family day. I
wish we could have more people come in more often. And we're only doing one family at a time. So
right.
We haven't had it where we've let 2 people, you know, 2 families in or 3 families in at a time. The space isn't all that big for keeping the social distance going on. So it would be nice if we could have a couple families in at a time, and maybe in time we'll be able to, but we have some pretty large families coming in.
Okay, so I have another question. Do we have the bathrooms open or the bathrooms are closed?
The bathrooms are closed, but then again, if anybody needs to use them, they're welcome to it.
Okay. Do we have that shield, which you mentioned in the grants? Do we have that reception desk shield?
We've had plexiglass since we returned in May, but we're getting something much bigger and better that covers more area.
Okay. Okay. So anybody else has questions? So what's your my question again, if it goes down, do we depend anyhow on school or no with the quarantine? If the schools at some point gets closed because of quarantine, can we continue to stay open? What the state requirements on that question?
Right now, we're still in phase 3. Like, I know the town's at risk, and they told us for libraries that we are still in phase 3, and we still can keep going with precaution. So right now, it's still up to every individual library per their discretion, unless we get other guidelines, which will happen soon.
Yeah, we don't have to follow the school unless the state says we become non-essential or whatever, and we have no choice then like before.
Okay.
So we're good right now.
Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. Anybody else has any questions to Debbie at this point? Okay, then let's move on to the next number 5, treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report, is that what you said?
Yes. You have the stage.
Sorry. I'm like thinking about what Deb and Hope had just said about phase 3, and my mind is elsewhere. sorry. Yeah, it looks good this month. It really does. I sent it to everybody. Expenditures were just under 40,000 year to date, which is right in line for where, oh, I got a lot of typos in here that I did not fix.
But don't worry about it. We need the facts. Don't worry.
Expenditures are either right in line with where they should be or under budget for things. And income this month looked really good. There's some stuff at the bottom of my report that talks about some donations and income and the grant. And I mentioned that probably would be more discussed in the director's report. And all of those are in the director's report. So if anybody wants me to amend the treasurer's report to include more information on those, because I just said I'm sure it will be discussed in the director's thing. But the budget's looking really good right now.
Oh, very good.
So, and it's nice to see that money's actually being spent on buying books.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Okay. So thank you so much. Do we know that we like overall with numbers? I can go through it all, but I prefer like you digest it, you digested everything presented. But do we look okay? Enough money to end up the year well without debt?
I've looked at all of it and looked at where we are in line. And as I said, we are either right on spot for where we should be or under budget on some things. So the couple of things that we've gone over budget on were only a couple of $100. And basically they're just things that didn't have a line item expense on the town report for them. And they can certainly be included under other areas and not affect the budget.
Okay.
But no, right now, it does not look like we're going to end up with a $15,000 deficit like we did last year.
Well, I
As
think
long
the
as things
deficit
stay the way they are.
I think the deficit was bigger than 15.
My numbers show between 15 and 17 for last year.
I thought it was closer to 30. Unless
I don't know. Not the year-end report that I had from July.
I think it was like around 30,000, 27, 29, but we were supposed to be reimbursed for the spending during COVID situation in spring. Am I right, Debbie?
Well, the town I know is going to be getting some COVID money. We talked to Tish and it hasn't arrived as of yet, but we will get a portion of it. So that'll help too.
Yeah, she says once she knows that, we'll know and it'll get transferred over.
Okay.
So we'll get some more, a little bit more help. We're just not sure how much.
Okay. So
yeah, Elena, my report as of June 30th of this year showed a deficit of $15,786. I don't show 30,000.
okay. Well, then it's really good because there were so many numbers. So then it's okay. Couldn't survive that. Okay. Thank you so much. So then my other thought on it, because we are really almost in January. In January, we'll have to start working on the new budget. So maybe when we start working on the new budget, maybe we will do like a deep evaluation of where we are now, if we need to adjust anything before so we wouldn't have that 15,000 debt. So, but so then I have another question about this. Hold on. So, okay, I think we'll cover it later. So, any questions to the treasurer? No questions. Move on then. Okay, then communications. In communications, we had a very serious letter from the state library. So we have received a letter of let me read it to you, and we will, let me just read it to you at this point. So the Don Lavelle, Debbie, what's your position on the state library? I know she is handling
She's
all.
the head director of the state library.
She's not the director. She's
the head director of the state library. That's what I looked it up, matter of fact, just yesterday, again, just to be sure on my, just so I know for sure. She holds many titles, but she is the head director of the state library.
okay.
She is, yes.
So she sent us a letter, which I would like to read, just because I'm required to read it. So she says she would like to bring to our attention that a member of the Wellington Friends group reached out to my office, she's writing, about obtaining information regarding the director search. This is highly irregular on many levels. Number one, library friends groups are separate entities from the library and do not have authority when it comes to director searches. Second, I made this clear to the person and she basically dismissed me. I reiterated only library boards have the authority to hire directors. Friends groups cannot hold office on a library board, as that is a conflict of interest, and they are not part of the library administration. Third, city library boards adhere to the ACLB Public Library Trustee Handbook, specifically ethical and fiduciary expectations, whatever it means. Number four, I teach the United for Libraries, Alice Alarm for Library Board Trustees. She attached it there. City statutes pertaining to libraries specifically outline the role of a library board. City library boards are subject to ethics laws pertaining to public officials. I highly recommend that your board participate in the library board training next week, or Gail Richmond, ACLB president, and I can do board training your board. I also recommend that your board reads the ACLB handbook. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, Dawn. She shared some information there, some links on this. So I'd like to make a personal comment. And so she wants us to go through the training. Back in July, we had a regular meeting, and I myself volunteered to get in touch with Dawn Lavelle so she would provide a board meeting for us, a board training. And I tried 4 times to get in touch with her. I think I emailed her twice and called her twice, maybe 3 times, left messages. It was a messy situation with COVID, but I did do that. I never heard a response. So it's not really our fault that we still did not have the board meeting. Plus the members are changing all the time. But she's totally correct that the board training will be a great thing for all of us. I wonder if we can make time for it. I would like to ask you all, if we schedule that board training, which date we can suggest to that Miss Lavelle? Go ahead, Karen.
How long is that going to take?
I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Couple hours.
You know, at UConn, when we go through training, it's day, you know, it's like 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the afternoon. I don't have time to put in something like that.
Oh, I
if
don't
she
have
can
that
tell
time.
us it's 2 hours, we can pick an evening, but I can't tell you a date until I have any idea how long that's going to be.
Let me try to get in touch with her again myself and see if she can tell me how long do we need for this training.
And I'd like to further add what I would like to know what it entails. Is it just a matter of our zooming in? Is there something else that we need to do or prepare?
No. We just zooming in and we just listen. That's all.
Okay. And I have the exact same reaction as Karen Ann. I need to know what's involved. I have other evenings already locked in next week going on. So.
Okay. So we'll try to figure this out then. second question regarding this matter, I heard from her before that she was very concerned about involvement of the Board of Selectmen in our business. So I would say we can't take any decision now. We don't have it in the agenda, but we will have to think about it because they are the organization who gives us grants. We do not get a lot of grants from them, but we are hoping that we can start to get grants, like the library from our area, whom I just talked to the director in that library, who managed to get 195,000 in grants for the library, even smaller than ours. So I don't think it would be wise from our side to cut the throat for the grants, because we could really use those grants. So I think we should consider how we can show that we are independent entity, maybe change in something in our policies, bylaws, in our requirements to provide that this is how we are independent, and that's from the Board of Selectmen. And second question about our dependency on Friends. I already talked to Joanne because she belongs to Friends of the Library. I talked to her prior to the meeting, and she's willing to give up that membership to the Friends of the Library and continue to stay on the board of the library. So those are two things which we can fix, and hopefully those things will satisfy the state library. And we will find out more information how long the training is going to take. And we will get back to you on this. David, do you want to add anything to this question?
Yeah, I think we need to speak to the Friends, either as a group, which is the way it should be done, and definitely to the co-presidents, to explain to them that a lot of what they are doing with these different inquiries and not listening is putting us in jeopardy, so that at their end, these things will stop, not just as far as the involvement with the town into our business, but the Friends are doing a job on us too. I know they mean well, but they're actually hurting us more than they're helping us, kind of thing.
Well, I would consider
Talk to them.
I would consider the person who called, that person just made a mistake. We have no idea who called. Just made a mistake. It was emotional call. Whatever, figure it out. I would suggest us do not get into arguments, because I personally think it's great that we have friends who are active, who are overseas us. I don't really want to spoil the relationships, because I really appreciate that we have friends. I think it's great. The other thing, we can ask Miss Lavelle to write a letter maybe to our friends or to us, and if she doesn't have a connection with Friends, and we would pass it to Friends with an example, with how the relationships between the library and Friends should take place, and let them handle it themselves. That's all. We'll handle it on our end, they'll handle it on their end. And we are all learning. They're learning, we are learning, we'll make mistakes as long as we're learning. That's
So who's going to let the Friends know that there's a problem? Where's that going to come from? You say from the state? I think the state wants us to do our own communicating if we have problems within ourselves.
well,
They're hearing a lot of different inquiries, but they're thinking we should be communicating between ourselves if we have an issue, not going above each other's heads trying to take care of it with through somebody else.
well, I would like, because that's kind of, I would like to talk to Dawn Lavelle myself, so she would give me an exact laws from which she comes out, and then based of those laws, state laws and policies concerning this particular question, we will communicate to Friends in a respectful manner.
Okay, then make sure you guys read that ACL book, because that's where all that stuff is coming from she's speaking about, that you mentioned in your letter.
Yeah, we will. We all supposed to have it. And at this point, Debbie, you mentioned something. I'm sorry, I missed it. Do you have the folder prepared for Karen Ann and Joanne?
Yep, that we're going to talk about when we go. When Hope and I go through our report, as we approach each thing, we're going to get answers from you guys so that we can take care of everything before the meeting ends.
Okay. If no more questions concerning that letter, anybody has questions? Okay, then Debbie, you have the floor. Go ahead for the director's report.
Okay, guys, you've got it all in front of you. You've read it, so we're going to keep it kind of short and sweet. But there are a couple of things that we do need your response on. So when we get to that, we'll stop. Just informing, we are doing our staff meetings, informing everybody so everybody knows what's going on. It's going really well. You've seen our budget plan as far as the library. It's very similar to what Karen Ann has presented. Is there any questions about it?
Yes, I have plenty of questions.
Okay.
So, budget plan on how we're gonna spend the grant, library grant, 25,000. Yes, that did
No, I'm talking about our regular budget. That's a whole nother subject with the grant money.
did we buy anything on that grant money or not yet?
Oh yeah, no, okay, let's back up a bit. Before I go on to that, Elena, can you just tell me, the budget I'm speaking of is our monthly budget. Did anybody have any questions on that? As far as anything spent or explain, do you need anything explained before I go on to the grant money?
Nope, not me.
Okay, so that's good, great. Okay, you've got the grant plan in front of you. This, we were approved. We had to put it through twice. We had certain guidelines that we had to follow and come within. The whole thing of this grant was to increase our capacity into the library by 75%. So there was a lot of things we could not spend it on, but there were a lot of things that we could. So it took us a couple of tries, but it did get approved. And the budget plan that you have in front of you is are things that we can spend the money on. Some of it we've already purchased. We're in the process now that we have a little bit more time to do some more serious price shopping to see if we can even save more. And that's what we're in the work right now. The list is there as far as where and what our intentions is as far as spending it on. A good portion is just stocking up on PPE equipment and things, kind of stockpiling that as far as as I say, protect the personal protective equipment. We are able to do things in the library as far as furniture, to bring people in, to keep things safe distance, for moving things, extra shelving. That's all listed there. We are going to try to do some things to bring in more young adults. We have things like signage, outdoor furniture and equipment we can use. We would like to get 1 or 2 picnic tables. There's outdoor signs. Our message boards are kind of a mess. We're also going to do a free library out front. We've had a couple people, since we've been closed as much as we have been, they would like to be able to get access to books outside without coming into the library. So we're going to set up a free library there. And for that, we have a piece of furniture downstairs, which we have someone who is going to transform it into something that's weatherproof, and for that purpose, to hold books where people can come and swap, take out, or put in, sort of a thing. Let's see. Our cleaning company that we hired, we have a contract. They start on Monday. They're going to be coming in twice a week. We have them until the end of our fiscal year. All their money is going to be taken out of the grant money, so it's not going to be coming off of our budget. Let's see what else. Yeah, so there's a list. It can change a little bit. Like I say, we are checking prices to see if we can save even more to maybe buy other things. But that's what we presented and handed into the state. That's what they approved. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can go ahead, Karen.
No, it's okay. You can go first.
Yeah. So my question is, why do we need furniture for young adults area? What does it include?
Well, we had to pick things that we wanted to spend all of the money. If we couldn't spend it, they were going to be taking it away from us and giving it to a different library who needed it more. So that was one thing that they could say we could spend money on, was furniture. So what we've done since we've been closed, I know nobody's been in on the board except, well, Karen, I didn't see you, but we had to rearrange the furniture. And now we're giving the young adults their own section, where once upon a time, they didn't have a section of their own. So we have some study corrals that we have moved around, one that we actually have ordered. where they now have separate studying units. The 2 study rooms that we have never been enough. We've had people often use other tables throughout the library. Where now when you walk in the door, we've got the children's library to the right. We've got now a young adult library section off to the left. And we're now making it young adult friendly. And that was one of the ways that we could do it. We knew that if we wanted to ever do something like this on our own, we would never have the money or put the money into it. Now we do have the money, so we do want to do it to make it inviting for them. We're going to also in that same section set up a gaming system where that will draw the young people into someplace nice for them to hang out, study, sit, and whatever. So that was one way to bring in the young people that we've never been able to have in before because there was nothing really here that we offered them, and spend money on furniture, which normally we wouldn't have the money to spend on something like that because we wouldn't consider it a necessity. So we had the money, that's where we thought we could spend it so that we could spend all of the money that was being offered to us.
Well, I was, due to COVID, I really would like to see I would like us to purchase some air purifiers, or a couple of them at least. That's my thinking. Air purifiers.
For now, you got a lot of room. I don't think a couple would do it, but
And
we have money left over to do something like that.
they are $500 each. I think that will definitely draw people back into the library because it will increase the level of safety while you are in the library, knowing that the air is getting purified. Karen, you had something to say.
Yeah, what kind of flexibility does Deb have in, or Hope, I don't mean to ignore you, Hope, in doing something like that? Because you've got to set, a lot of times with grants, you have to say specifically what it is you're buying. And so does she have any leeway to say, okay, now we're going to spend $2,000 on air purifiers?
We'd have to get it reapproved.
Yeah.
We'd have to talk to them, get it reapproved, see if they would approve it. Because we did get denied for a few items on our first time around, which is why we had to redo our budget. So we would just need to communicate with them.
Yeah, I think, yeah, to be denied on air purifiers in COVID times, that's kind of doesn't sound real. But also, but who knows? But also, I would suggest to get touchless hand sanitizer. Do we have it already? Touchless hand sanitizer?
Not touchless. But
But
what we're doing is the hand sanitizers we're putting in people's hands, they're not using them themselves.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice if people are free and not, oh, what is a lady with hand sanitizer? If we have a touchless hand sanitizer, I think it costs like $100. If we can have that one, I would rather spend money on increasing the level of safety, from COVID safety in the library than just the furniture only.
No, we thought about that, and we thought, again, we did think about that, and with everything that we've been doing, we're trying to get as much money out of it as we can. But that could happen. For example, with the shortness of having to get this all done as quick as what the state wanted us to do, we didn't look so much into pricing at the beginning. Like, say, for example, the young adult furniture. We have it all picked out. We had to. It was a library furniture company. We have not ordered that as of yet. Our hope is that we have a little bit of time now to look to see if we can't find something similar for a lot less. And then that possibly could free us up for money for other things like what perhaps you're speaking about. So it's a possibility we can go that way, but we were trying again to get as much as we could for as little to pay.
Kiranen.
Yeah, if you had extra money, I would say air purifiers are more important than touchless hand sanitizers. I mean, you're touching it and then you're sanitizing your hands after you've pressed the pump. I don't think that's a huge deal. But like I said, a lot of times this stuff it's set in the grant and you have to do it. So of the 24,000 and change that you got, do you know how much you've actually spent? I could have spent the time and taken the Excel and totaled it all up, but I figured you'd have all of that, so.
No, we just put beside it whether it was purchased, but no, I'm sorry, Karen, we didn't get a total yet so far.
Okay, then I had another question. You've got $1,250 down for picnic tables and a gazebo, but don't you also have some donations that were designed for the same thing?
Yes, that's true. And that's coming later in my, you probably read it. Yes,
Oh.
but the thing
Well,
is,
when you said the report, I read everything because I had already done my treasurer's report. I wanted to see what.
we had to get a little tricky because, believe it or not, on this grant, we could do something like picnic tables and gazebos. So we wanted to use the money here first and then take the money for the donations that other people have given and use it for something that we couldn't put on the grant that we needed. So we kind of, we're trying to get everything. We just kind of switched it up a little bit as far as where the money was coming from.
Okay, so the donations are not, as I read on one of them, for a butterfly garden or gazebo, but it could be for something else. They're not restricting.
Exactly. Yes, it's kind of playing with words and the whole situation and process. So
I think
yes, it would, in other words, for example, we have someone right now, a family of a volunteer that I'm getting ahead of it now, but who just donated, who just gave us $2,500.
Right.
And he wanted it to be, he wants to get kids outside, which is perfect as far as COVID. So he wanted also 1 or 2 picnic tables. And if there was money left over, we were going to put that money to go with the other person's $1,200. So that would make, so we'd have more money. Everything's getting put for the same thing. But so we're going to, so since the grant money since we could do that with the grant money, what we were going to do with his money in actuality was going to be putting it towards the young adults and their gaming system and things like that. So he's still getting his wish, but the money for what he would like is coming out of the grant money, and the money that he gave us is going to be going to the young adult because we couldn't get that on the grant.
See, this is what happens when I read everything you send. I have to let my dog
talk about
right back.
So believe me when I tell you, we have everything covered. It's a little tricky, but we're trying to get the most we could out of all the money that we have and meet all of our needs at the same time.
Yeah,
Not be limited.
I think we had, for quite a few years, we had problems with the computers. So if we are allowed to put that money towards computers, that's a priority. I think the safety from COVID and computers is priority. So if we can get gazebo, that would be super, then we can have programs outside. The library can continue to function. Maybe I'm extremely skeptical about putting $4,000 towards a piece of furniture.
And we're not thrilled about it either. Again, we had to do that so that we could come up with the money to fully spend the almost $25,000. But no, I agree with you fully. So but it's there for that reason. But now, as I said, we can look to see what is out there for less that can do the same thing, have the same purpose. But we had to do something. They only gave us less than 2 weeks to get this all together.
Yeah. So
we kind of thought big and went, knowing we could go smaller and be more practical as far as, for example, a good example is we need more shelving in the back of our circulation. For example, we have CDs, they're in 2 cabinets on top of our counter. It looks terrible. They're out of place. They don't belong. They weren't installed right. So we wanted to put in more shelving. Just to put in one shelf that's probably about 3 feet wide and maybe 48 inches high, it was going to cost us like $2,400. We could go to Wayfair and find something similar and put that in. But we said that so that at least we know that money would be, we could get that money for that. Now that we've gotten that money and they've approved it, now we're going to find something that is not as expensive, but that will do the same purpose. We have a carpenter actually who's going to come in and build extra shelves for us. So that's going to cut that cost just for that one cabinet down quite a bit. So we're thinking of how to save money. We want as much as we can for what they're allowing. So we're looking at prices. So there very well could be money left over for air purifiers or a touch of sanitizer or, you know, other things.
And plus with the cleaning contract opens up a lot from our own budget that we're not spending. So
Yeah. So
there's that too.
You guys can be rest assured that we're going to have plenty of money for doing a lot of things when this whole year gets done.
So the cleaning contract for 8 months, it has 4,000. Why it's only 8 months? Could we get it for more? No? Or you did it till July?
We just
Why
did
is
it for, we did it for, there's a number of ways we could have done it. We could have done it just till January or spring to get past COVID. Then we thought, well, we could save money on the budget and the grant money would pay for it if we got at least to the end of the fiscal year. So we took it to June 30th just because we thought it would help our budget because we had money with it being grant money. Again, if we went more than that, then perhaps we wouldn't have had money for something else, but we covered cleaning up to that point. And so now we have extra money to do something else as well.
Yeah, and most libraries are keeping it within that 6-month range for any contract.
And the sad thing is the girls here, we're all doing the cleaning. I mean, we're going to hire a company to come in 2 days a week, but we're doing the 4 days of cleaning ourselves. And that's just it. We're not able with that grant money to pay ourselves for doing the exact same thing we're spending a stranger to come in and do. So, you know, there's a lot of stipulations and things that you could and couldn't do. So we just kind of tried to figure out how like I say, we could make it work. But, you know, that's a good example as far as, you know, we could have somebody in here 6 days a week because there's cleaning that with COVID, we're doing 6 days a week. We're doing cleaning 4 or 5 times a day within one day just to keep things safe. None of us girls are getting paid 1 iota, 1 penny more than what we get, but yet we're doing somebody else's job and work that needs to be done. The grant said, no, we can't spend it. We could not put it for staff, even though we're doing the work. It's crazy, but we could pay
It's not crazy. A lot of grants simply do not allow you to pay people from the
no, and so, but you know, we're doing the work, so we're abiding by definitely, you know, how things are supposed to be. But we just thought instead of paying a cleaning company for 6 days a week, which by right we could and should, instead of us doing it, we thought, well, we'll do a really deep cleaning, you know, on Mondays and Thursdays, because that's when we thought Monday morning before our most susceptible, our seniors come in to keep them safest. And then we thought Thursday morning to keep people, because Friday, anybody of all ages can come in on Saturday. And then we have families, on Friday, and then we have families on Saturday. So we really did plan it out well with a lot of thought what would be best. Otherwise, we could have had the cleaning company 6 days a week for 8 months, and there goes all of our money, and we wouldn't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is about computers. That's our opportunity to update computers, which we could not afford for quite a while. Are you sure that 5 computers will cost $3,300? That sounds very suspicious. Suspiciously low.
Oh, do you know how hard we work to get you guys good prices? I don't think you know how many. It is a great price. It is, when it was given to us, and we questioned it many times, and we've done some searching. It is good. They're excellent prices. And grateful for that. We're only going with 5 because of a couple of things. The children's computers in the children's room has 2 computers. They're 14 years old. One of them hardly works. One of them doesn't work at all. We took our 2 computers from our adult section, and the ones at the end, if you've been in the library, you'd know they hardly ever get used because they were sitting up on a higher desk, and at the end, nobody bothered with those. They were regular PCs. We got rid of the 2 children's computers, took the 2 adult computers that got the least amount of use from our patrons, and put it in with our children's. We went and all the PCs, which are all 14 years old, there's 4 of them as far as now with the patrons, and also one at the front desk that Miss Kathy uses because we needed it for our Cassie software. 5 of those computers that have been around for 14 years are all going to now be new. The children do get new computers for them. They're working from what were our adults. that we took away from. Our Apple computers are newer. They're, I think, maybe 7 years old. We're waiting to hear from the Apple people. Again, if we have more money left over, we're going to get more computers. But the Apple people haven't gotten back to us. The reason why we did it with not getting all new computers is because come spring, the state has it where they're going to be, and hopefully it'll go through, where you will be able to, and we are, how do you say hope? We meet the standards. We can try to get new computers in the beginning of spring if this goes through with the state. So we're, again, trying to think of getting as much as we can. At least now we have some new computers. In spring, we can hopefully get the rest of them that are not as old as what we're replacing now, and then we'll be all set. Also, if for some reason in the spring, because it's no guarantee that it will go through for the state and that we can get them that way through for that upcoming grant, we do have money from Mr. North and other money that we can use for computers if we have to, because that is what that money is allocated for. So again, thinking of everything, how we can make it, get the most out of it. There's a plan.
Okay, then my next question about first of all, I just noticed study Carol on wheels. What does that mean? It's 3,200. Study Carol.
Yes. Again.
What is that?
It's a study. It's a actual study cubby. It's I could show you. I can't explain it. It's something that you can move around. Say if you needed to. The furniture that we have that's similar to that weighs a ton, and it takes 2 of us to move it, and it's hard. And so what we did is there's one that is available that has actually wheels on it, and it's something that I know a good word would be portable. It's more portable so that we can put it in other places of the library where people can use it to study from.
Study. Okay.
It's a study carrel.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
It's
Is it like a study carrel?
It's like, exactly. It's like,
Okay,
it's
that's
like
okay.
a
Then
study
I got it. Okay.
Okay. Okay, then so back to the gazebo. So what do you have any plans? Did you price anything out about the gazebo? Because we probably should get a pretty good size of the gazebo so we could hold the programs there if the infection continues.
Well, we have been, and believe it or not, there's different kinds of gazebos. When you think of a gazebo, you may think of something enclosed like a circle or octagon, and it has a roof over it. Those are really expensive. We actually have a catalog. I talked to someone on the phone from the Amish country who they make them with a year lifetime warranty and guarantee. Have we been looking in pricing? Yes, we have. We have all kinds of catalogs. We've been online. And we've even gone out of state, like I say, talking to people who that's their specialty. But the thing is, it all depends on whether we don't have that much room out in the yard to put it. We thought that originally we could do something in front of the children's windows, but then looking at it and imagining it, and we asked a few people to come and what do you think? It would take away from the building and our beautiful front. But off to the side of that, we can level out a little bit better an area where it's off the sidewalk, off the side of the building where we can use going in and out as far as the kids go, so it stays safe, and put something there. But in that way, we are limited to how much space is available as far as the land because it goes downhill, and we've got to keep it safe. So we're thinking about probably one good size picnic table with a gazebo being, and it's still called a gazebo, but it's probably more like a pavilion that goes over it, so it protects the picnic table and the kids from the sun, if it's sprinkling outside, that kind of a thing, but it's not closed in sides.
Is there a way for us maybe to consider some, let's say not separately standing gazebo, but like attachment of just the roof attached to the building on the side of the building, maybe where the parking lot is? We do have a little space there, no?
We do. And also I have done programming out there with the kids. I'll take the kids' tables and I'll put them out. There's like a little bit of a patio type area, but you can't fit too big of a thing out there because most of it is just a sidewalk. So
can we put a roof over some area
But
of
the only
there?
thing you'll be protecting is the flowers from getting the rain and sun they need, and sidewalks, so that if you were to use that sidewalk, and it's only used if a program's going on, you can go in and out of it. It would never be used normally, because people can't enter from the side, even though there's a sidewalk and a door there. You'd only be protecting the sidewalk. You couldn't fit a picnic table or anything in that area. It's too small, too narrow.
Okay. Okay.
Even with an overhang, it would be too small.
Okay. Okay. Anyone has questions on this particular spending grant money? Okay. I guess we can move on then. You can move on, Debbie.
You know, too, if you guys do think of things like the air purifiers and stuff, please give us a call. We just have to, and we'll look into it, because again, we're hoping to save money so we can get more things by the time we're all done. It's just that everything has to be paid for by December 18th. So it's only a few weeks away.
So the air purifiers cost $500 a piece, and they're medical, have medical level filters. So they should work. They should increase the level of safety in the building.
Perfect.
For
Then
your
that's the
safety.
first place we're going to put the money when we get some, and we should get some money.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
should be able to save some money with this to spend some more money.
You really, with those though, how many cubic feet does it filter per minute? And how big is the library? So you get all this little technical,
Yeah, we'll find out.
but usually like a company rep would help you with that too.
We'll do all that figuring
Yes.
so that it works.
So
Okay.
we interrupted you. You have to say something about the Form 990.
Okay, well, let me go through,
Yes.
continue
ahead.
with my report. So just as far as now that the weather is getting kind of funky with snow and whatever and ice, you guys now will be aware of the emergency closing policy. It's kind of a joint effort where the chair, vice chair, somebody who was assigned from the board with the director and also with the town as far as the public works person would decide if it's safe and how, that sort of a thing. So any questions on that?
Yeah, actually, when it comes to, that's not in our policy. It's a little different in policy. Unless we change it, we have to follow what is there. In order to change it, we first of all have to have policy committee. We have to let people know, or we can get together, if not policy committee, the whole meeting. So we have to announce on one regular meeting that we are considering the change. Then we have to have a meeting, decide what it's going to be, the change, and then we have to vote. So it's a process. Until that, so we need 2 months. If we
Okay,
start
but it's
working
winter
on it-
time. What would you want us to do?
So
And
at
meanwhile,
this,
if something happens and it's snowing hard, how do you want us to handle it?
so I think, I'm not sure, but as far as I remember, the director and the chair take a decision about closing.
The
But
same
we
thing, that's it. That is it.
But we have to. I'm sure we have it in policies somewhere. We have to. We'll find it. But
Well,
we
that
do.
was taken from the
I'll-
policy, part of it, so.
I'll find it for you, and until it is changed, that's what we're gonna follow. So if you feel we need to change something, we can consider that. But again, it's a process, and that's a whole meeting for the discussion. So let's at this point, I'll help you to find that policy for the
Oh, I
emergency.
have it. We have 3 different, I have it. We have the policy. We have all the information on it. That was just as far as, what you guys would know so that you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, we would have to discuss it.
Yep.
And now we cannot discuss at this point because it was not in the agenda. That's the whole item for the agenda. So we have to find it. Not gonna work. We have to see what we have. We have to be represented with what we have now. So because we don't have it now.
All right.
So we're not prepared at this point, but let's prepare it for the next meeting. Unless we want to call policy committee meeting and discuss it there and bring it prepared for the next regular meeting. We'll see how it goes then. But at this point, let's keep this question and come back to it prepared in the agenda, full question for the next meeting. Okay? I just have to remember to do that. So emergency closing policy. Okay, continue. What else do you have to say?
Just the Form 990, you guys, you have it. It needs to be reviewed, and you guys have to approve it. And Karen Ann will sign. I have the paper for her to sign, and get it in as soon as possible.
Well, let me say something. So that form, as I looked at it, is 58 pages. We have to all, we must all read it carefully, understand what's there, and then we probably will have to have a special meeting unless we can talk to the gentleman who is handling this question, that ask him if he can wait till the next regular meeting, and that would be the best. So Debbie, if you could please tomorrow, maybe you can give him another call, or Monday next week, if he can wait.
If you can wait longer than 2 weeks now,
if he can wait till the next regular meeting, that would be good, because to meet just for this question, kind of.
All right, but you got to understand that this is over a year old now.
So as he said, it can wait another week, so means he can wait another month. So let's just ask him. If that can wait another month, then let's wait till next regular meeting. If it cannot wait another month, then we will have to call a special meeting. But we will have to make sure that we all carefully read that Form 990, which is in emails. Every one of us have it in emails. I have no idea what it involves. 58 pages. 58 pages tells me you need to read it. That's all. So
No, actually, Elena, you don't, because a lot of those pages are blank. Again, I read everything Deb sent.
Oh, did you read those 58 pages?
I read those 58 pages, and a lot of the pages are blank. They apparently don't apply to us. And a bunch of the pages are just X's. Do these things apply to us? So you just have to run through and say, yes, this applies to us. Yes, this applies to us, kind of thing. The 58 pages is not that hard to read. I did it, I don't know, 10, 15.
If you don't have the figures, you don't know if it's accurate or not. So that would be out of the treasurer's.
Well, I don't have any of that because this is all predating me.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you whether the numbers are accurate. I just looked at the pages.
Where are the old books? Does anybody know? There must be treasurer's books from the past.
No.
It was done on QuickBooks, and he was able to gather that from the computer here in the office. Put it on a drive and a thumb drive and take it to his office and work from QuickBooks that way. So he has all the right information. It just never got done.
So Karen Ann, I have a question. Sorry, I have a question to you. So as for those 58 pages, I saw that was 58 pages 3 hours before the meeting. Tell the truth. So I didn't even attempt to read them. So could you please tell me, is there anything which could give us any possible problems in future? Or
since I don't have any of the actual numbers, I just have to assume the numbers are okay. And then it's just a matter of going through the X's and making sure that the ones that are checked off are the ones that do apply to the library in terms of the kind of organization it is and that sort of stuff. And is this just supposed to be for 1 year? Is it just supposed to be for 2018? Because if it is, there looks like a lot of duplicate pages.
No, this is something that you have to file every year, and it has been done. Mr. Navratil has done it for us for as long as I can remember. And so he knows what he's doing. He can be trusted.
Yeah.
As long as the numbers are right, and they should be. I don't think anybody can mess with that stuff.
So does it mean that you, Karen Ann, that you really do not need us in order to fill it all up and sign it and submit?
No, the board has to agree according to the instructions.
So
So, like I said, Deb sent stuff. I read it all.
you are so good. Thank you.
So I did go through, and I thought at first this was for 2019, but the date on it says 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But going through, it does look like towards the end, there's duplicate pages from earlier, which right there cuts out some of the 58-page length. And then, like I said, a bunch of the pages are blank because they don't apply to us. And a bunch of the pages are just, these are the X things that do apply. So the actual numbers are not that, they're not 58 pages. And so if we trust the guy who did it, then
Well, I have another question. How could we sign for the information where we were not around? We're signing, if somebody goes against us, if we signed for it, said, yes, we agree, but we have no way to check, and we were not responsible, we were not in the picture, so what does it hold for us? That's what I would like to know.
Well, Deb said that the information is available. And was it made available to Mr. Navratil?
Yes.
Well, then we have to go with it. If he's always been accurate, I think we're just going to have to go with it this time. But we do have the information, even if we weren't there. The information is still valid.
Yes.
So then the information, we do not provide the information. So the gentleman provides the information. We trust him with that information. So we really don't have our personal responsibility for it, do we?
You have to sign it. He can't sign it. It's whoever the board is. That's why the board, whatever board is in place, which is you guys, that's why you need to read through it just to make sure that what you do know and what is there looks okay. And then once you say it looks okay, that's when Karen and the treasurer would then sign it.
Yeah, Elena, it's kind of like giving an accountant your information to do your
Auditor,
taxes.
Kind of, yes.
You give them your receipts and your W-2s, W-2, W-4. I can never tell the difference between the two, whichever one it is you give to the IRS. And then you trust the accountant did it, and the accountant signs it and you sign it. This will go through with, this is the person who prepared it and the library board approved it. It's not like we
Had anything to do with the numbers or filling it out or whatever. You didn't.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's kind of like a check and balance kind of a thing.
Then do we really need to postpone it? Maybe, Karen, and we just can trust you to fill it all up and sign it?
You trust me?
Well,
Yes.
well, I'll read it.
Yeah, the
Kathy,
board has to approve it. I can sign it, but the board does have to approve it.
so
Those
they
were the
just
instructions
approve.
I got on it, was the board has to approve it and then I have to sign it.
okay, so then what's our procedure? Do we want to call a special meeting, or we want to ask him to wait till the next regular meeting? So we
Well,
would
let me find out first if it can wait. Like I said, he said it's late as it is. He was willing to give another week or two, a whole nother month. I don't know if he has a deadline that he's got in his own mind that he has to meet. I don't know if his thing is like November 16th or if it's like, this December 1st. I'll ask him. When I
Okay.
called to say if it could wait, he said another week wouldn't hurt. So
okay.
another month, I don't know if it would hurt or not.
Okay, but at this point, then we stop this question with just understanding that we all need to go through this document. That's all. Yes. So we would know what we agree on. Okay, guys. Debbie, do you have anything else in your report which you did not cover yet?
Well, part of the Form 990, what has been going on, and I know this is going to sound crazy, for years has not been done right. There's supposed to be the mission statement. It's funny because there was a mission statement on the 990 form, but there isn't one in any of our policies or procedures or bylaws. So that's got to get switched over if you guys, when you want to approve that. Also, there's supposed to be an annual conflict of interest disclosure form that the board people are supposed to be doing, and we have never done that yet. Same thing, we're supposed to have, let's see, there is a document retention policy and a whistleblower policy. Now, the crazy thing is that on our forms that have been being filled out, we've always stated that, yes, we had these things, but you know what, we don't have these things. So right now, he somehow has it where he's gonna let this one go through like the other ones have always gone through. But moving forward to the next one that's due also now that he's working on, these things are gonna have to be in place. We are gonna have to put them, make them up. He did give us some samples of what we could do, how we could do it, what they look like. But going forward, these things are going to have to be done. There's 4 different kinds of forms, like I just read off. They are going to have to be put into our policies and procedures or bylaws, and we're going to have to act upon some of them, like with the conflict of interest, forms. So for now, he says he'll let it go. He'll do like what he did in the past, even though we're saying one thing and we're not doing it. We can't prove it. So moving forward, it will change.
Okay. Go ahead, Karina.
Yeah, one of the comments I made in the email that I sent with the start of a job ad was that we don't have a mission statement. So where did this mission statement on the Form 990 come from? Anybody know?
He said it's been there for years. That's where he's always, what he does, things that don't change, he will take from one year and put to the next year when he's filling out things at his end, being the accountant. So that's what he said has always been there. And I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, we searched this whole library and the closest thing we found was a philosophy, so.
And they're not the same, he said. They are different.
No, they are very different. There's 3 types of statements: a mission statement, a vision statement, and a values or philosophy.
Yes.
And they are very different.
Yeah.
So I was just curious as to how come all of a sudden there was a mission statement when I went searching through the library stuff looking for one when I was writing the job ad. So nobody knows where it came from.
No. But again, it's there. If you guys want it as it is, you can certainly adopt it and put, kind of a thing. But yeah, he's had that. Who did it, where it came from, when it happened, he did not know. But he said, yes, there is one there. And that's when he showed it to, us.
Just
So he's using it because it's gone through for,
just for this report, just go with it. Writing a mission statement and goals and objectives and all this kind of stuff, it really is time consuming, and it's very thought consuming. And so, Kathy's been through it how many times too, and it just goes forever. So you can't do it in one night. You can't do it. Begin to do it.
And we have time now for that. Like I said, we just have to get ready for the next time that he does.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Filing of it. So we have time.
I'm not even sure we have to worry about the mission statement by the next one if it's due pretty soon. That's something we could worry about when 2020's stuff came around, if we needed the time.
Yeah.
If it's been used for years, there's really no point in worrying about it right away. We should have a mission statement, and the one that's on the Form 990 is not a great one, but I don't think it's anything we need to worry about right now.
No.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. So, what else, Debbie? Do you have something else?
I hate to keep bringing up the 990 form, but this is something that he said that I'm supposed to make you guys aware of. If you guys, as board members, could keep track as best you can, how many hours you put in a week for doing the job of being a board member. So that's on the 990 form too. And from what I understand, that's never been done. So instead of people just guesstimating, if you could get something, keep track, that would be more true to what should be put on the form.
I can keep track. I do 0 hours for the first 3 weeks, and then I cram before the meeting.
We're going to average them out. Kind of thing. Oh, and on that note, he wanted to let us know that he is getting out the 2018-2019 tax return finally. It will go out by, he said November 15th, which is any day. He's also working on the 2019-2020. He said he's asked for the automatic 6-month extension so that it will go out late, but it will be earlier than what we've done in the past. And also he's hoping with that the 2020-21, which is going to come soon enough, should finally be on time.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Okay. Now the annual report for the state, which has not gone out on time in a few years, went out today, and it wasn't until the 16th. And they were so pleased and proud that actually it wasn't but a couple hours later that we got notice from the state saying, "Thank you so much." We were bad, and they acknowledged it, and they were grateful. So that was pretty cool. And then just something again, at the moment, our policies and procedures manual is not on our website. I don't know what happened to it. There were 2 there. Now there's none there. I know we've been working on it. Do you want something on there just to have something on there? And if that's the case, I can put the old one back, even though it's not updated and it's outdated and I know we're revising it. Or would you rather just not have anything on there for now?
Karen,
I think legally we have to have it on there, don't we?
we do.
So
So,
I'd say put up the old one and then make a statement that it's under revision.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Well-
a good idea.
Yeah.
well, hold on, Debbie.
Yeah.
First of all, we did quite a few revisions even today during this meeting in director's job description. So we will have to put it, all these changes, we will have to change them, put it like bylaws that it was revised today, the policy with director's job description. We can put it in there and say that the date when it was last time revised, and then we can put it in. So putting all the last, whatever we revised at this day, let's put it in.
Can we do that? It's kind of like cut and pasting kind of a thing?
You just yes, cut what we
Take out and just put in what's new.
and just put it in. And
All
just
right.
at the end, the main thing that at the end of each policy where we do this change, we put the date revised on this date. Like whatever we approve today, that's today's date.
That's great.
Yeah.
If we can do that, then that's what we'll do.
Yes, that's what we have to do. But we are obligated to have bylaws and policies for the public display. So
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So we made 2 more binders. Did anybody see what the table of contents looks like? Karen Ann, I know you read everything.
Yes, I did.
But you're not going to be of help to me because you don't have a book, period. So you're not
Yeah,
going to.
I have a copy of the bylaws, but not revised because I didn't put in all the revisions of, not the bylaws, the policy, because I haven't written down all the revisions Elena did. But that is just something that I've had that I pulled off the website.
On your own side, yeah.
And
Well, for the members that do have their binders, is anything missing or anything that I'm supposed to add before I give these last 2 binders out? Does everybody have bylaws who have a binder?
So first of all of us, we have bylaws and policies on the internet.
Oh, and I can't hear, Elena.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay, you're soft, but I can, okay.
Sorry.
There you go.
That's better.
Thank you.
My dog was scratching in the door. Nobody wanted to let him out, so I had to put this stuff on. So what we have on our, we all have bylaws and policies on email through the links on our emails, and we will have it on the library website. So it's just easy. We just print it out from there. Articles of Association of the Wellington Public Library, I even don't know what that means.
Okay, so you need that.
I even don't know what it is. Then trustee handbook, we have it in our folders. Cassie, do you have it? Yeah.
So you guys have okay, so you have the ACLB book. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we have the responsibilities. When you say yes. When you talk about responsibilities, you mean that sheet, who is responsible for what? Trustees' responsibilities, friends. We were supposed to, I have it. I don't know, it was in my folder. It's just one sheet of paper from the state library, which clearly states who does what, who is responsible for what. As a matter of fact, it's a great document to share with friends and put everything in place, because it clearly states who is responsible for what and who has a right to move in what. You know, it's like all responsibilities and obligations there. That's very good. Well, you can just share it with friends, David. Can you send that document with friends?
Yep, I'm writing it in right now.
Yeah, and just highlight the friends' responsibilities. That's all.
Yep.
Because I'm
really grateful that we have people interested. We should really value them and just redirect the efforts a little bit, how the state library asks us. So the handbook, we had it. Cassie, I think you have it too.
Okay, so everybody got that, okay.
Yep, you know what, I'm actually, what I uncovered in here too, Karen Ann, is this the position opening, is this a previous job ad that I'm coming across that we might want to work from?
Where did you find that?
In my green folder.
Yeah, you have another folder, Kathy. Two or three people were given special folders as far as responding. Remember when we had that directors committee?
Yep.
When we had the policy one, there were a few people on that, and those 3 people had gotten a different folder. That's where you probably got that from.
Is this
That's
something
not the
that would
general
go
one
with-
that's for
Since
all boards.
I don't have a folder at all, Kathy, I don't know what you're talking about. If you could, like, can you scan it and send me a copy?
Well,
Joan,
actually,
too?
Deb, do you have wherever these things came from, and you could email Karen Ann a fresh
I
one?
will. Actually,
Okay.
Karen, I think I have my folder I can give you.
And could you please share it with us, because I don't think I have it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's 2 different ones.
The
There's
people that were on the directors committee.
yeah, there-
yeah. If Joan's going to be on the hiring committee too, she'll need a copy.
Okay, so Joan,
right.
Karen Ann, and Kathy, right? Okay,
Correct.
Kathy, you got yours. Oh, and
Yeah,
Lady.
and like I said, it looks like there are 2 different ones, and we should just look at all of the different words and descriptions that we've used over the years.
All right. I'll get you that smorgasbord.
Let me look through this.
Okay, so what about the Connecticut General, the 146 General Assembly chapter?
Hold on.
Anybody have that?
Sorry, Debbie, I interrupted you. So this job description, you mean page 29? It says, Cassie, director's job description.
No, I was looking for job position openings. That's what I was referring to, but that's in there as well. The job description is in there as well.
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, you're
I
thinking
think
something different.
We should stick with what we accomplished. Otherwise, because all the documents, that's my position at this point. All the documents, including bylaws, policies, they were all scattered. I spent a lot of time looking for them everywhere. So whatever we found, we started to work. I think whatever we worked on, that's a working copy. If we later find something, we're just gonna disregard it and look through if we want to adapt there, which is missing in our copy. Otherwise, things are piling up after we spend a year of work on something, and we don't want to, to waste the time on it.
The other thing is you have to get down to one thing. It's like what Mr. Naberto was saying. Here you're saying you have something in one place, but you don't have it in another. There's no correlation going on. We have a lot of different things all over the place, but we don't have one thing that compiles everything together. And yes, between those, everything that you're gathering, you can pick and choose and decide on what you want to use of it. But then we should get rid of that stuff that we're not using and just keep that one thing. But you can pull that from other areas because it could have value. But have some kind of consistency. We don't have any consistency anywheres.
No, we have bylaws and policies. That's the rules are the rules, whether we like them or not. If we don't like them, we work on them and change them. That's simple as that.
But where it's said in one place has to be said the same thing if it applies to in another area.
Yeah. So the bylaws and policies are our primarily, we are obligated to follow them, even if we don't like them. If we don't like them, we change them in according with the manner required by our bylaws. That's all. So
Okay, that's fine, Elena, but I think the point right now is just what should be in the folder. What do we need besides bylaws and policies?
Yeah, in other words, does anybody have the last 2 are what are state statutes, for example. Does anybody have, could the 2 new finders that I'm giving out do have this in it? So I just need to know if the rest of you have it or not, because if you don't, I will make copies for you to put into your binders, or maybe you do have it.
I don't think I do.
I don't have it. I never even heard about the existence.
Right. These don't ring a bell at all, and I don't see them. So
The last 2, so City General Assembly Chapter 146 elections, We never saw it.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I've got this one. I've got the state statutes, right? This one?
That's the 190 one. You got it.
Yep. I don't
Where
see
was
the
it?
46 though. It's in the red folder.
I
You know,
don't
you
have
guys
it.
wanna- how about you do this? Do you guys want to just give me back all the binders and I'll just make them all new?
No, we're not gonna give you anything. You just give us new. That's all.
Well, it's just hard because some people have it and some people don't have it.
You just give us all new, and that's okay because it's
See,
paper.
I've
We don't
written
want
down my stuff,
we don't
so I
want
can
to
do
have
all
mess.
that.
So whatever we have, we have. I don't have 190.
Well, again, I just want everybody to be on the same page with the same information, that we're all looking from the
So-
same thing.
So just give us all a new binders, including everything. Well, the policies is the biggest amount of pages. We can find them on our library website. So, but if you can give us all the rest, I think we have a trustee handbook. So we could
My
have.
next- My next question is, now this is what will be in the 2 existing new binders. Do you guys who have a binder already have anything in addition to that that I don't know about?
I
I
don't
should
know.
be
That's a
getting.
different question. Let's check it. So let's all take times and home, not during the meeting, and we'll check whatever we have in binders in according with this list which you're asking. Okay? Because now it's not the time.
Because I know it won't get taken care of, but.
Well, we don't want to take the meeting time for that at this point. So
Alright.
anything else? But we will do it. We will compare it. We will do it. I personally will
No,
do
we
it.
already talked about the invoices for the lawyers. We talked about money coming in from the prior director. Okay, last couple of things. We have a $2,500 gift, and also we have a friend, patron, and actually one of my most favored program volunteers unfortunately passed away. And she is giving 25% to the Wellington Public Library of her will, from her will. So that was pretty awesome.
Thank you. Does she have a family so we could thank them at least on her account?
Well, I am going to do for the $2,500 one. Again, a friend and a volunteer who helps me on Thursday evenings. And I don't know, can I mention people's names?
I don't know. Hold
Okay.
on, don't mention.
And then-
But do we have the amount of money, which 25?
Not for the will, it just came about. They're in the process of probate and whatever, so it hasn't been decided as far as what that 25% looks like. But when all is said and done, whatever that final outcome is, we'll get 25% of that.
Are you saying that Dale passed away?
Yes,
When?
Who passed away?
I don't know, can I give a name?
I guess.
Yeah,
She-
well, it's gonna
We'll
be.
have to honor her. Why not?
Oh, I thought Joan said a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say the name. We have to know. Actually, I think we need to be grateful
Well,
to that
the
lady.
name's on the paper here, but when did she?
Oh, okay. In September. It was very unexpected, unfortunately.
Well, I never heard that, but I haven't seen anybody to hear it.
I know, it was a shock. It was, yeah.
What
She
paper
was-
did you see it
She
on,
was my
Joan?
elf every Christmas with Santa Claus. She was here all the time doing programs with me with the
Well,
kids.
she's a nice person,
Was-
very nice person.
She was, yes.
I
Does she have a family? Does she have a family? Did she leave her
She
husband,
has
children?
a brother and at least one nephew. And I'm not sure if there's a second nephew, I don't remember, but she has no children or husband.
So maybe we should write some letter from the name of the library.
Oh, we will.
Our condolences and
Definitely will.
gratitude for her service, first of all. Thank you.
Isn't that-
Okay, Debbie, something else.
And then just one other thing, we're talking about trying to learn about what we shouldn't be doing, how to go about things. I also heard from the Freedom of Information, Mr. Hennick, who would like very much and thinks it would benefit us if we were to do some workshop and meeting with him via Zoom. So again, we're all on the same page. And what we can do is, if you want, I can use that. I can make it a library program. And he suggested that all different groups from the town or any individual, it would be something that they could benefit from and also participate in. There'd be questions and answers and things like that that he would make time for. So I highly recommend it. He highly suggests it. It's just finding the time along with doing what the state library and Dawn, when we can do it.
Yeah, well, I want to comment to those who don't know. Tom Hennick is an attorney on the Freedom of Information Act. So I truly, if he suggests this program, I think we should jump on it, because his Freedom of Information is a main organization with which we can get in trouble for breaking the law. So we better don't get in trouble and get to know what's there, what's required, what's not. So, but again, the question is, how long is that program? And that's number one, Debbie. How long would he think it will take?
I would think because he's going to allow for anybody to be a part of it, and then depending on how many people come, he said he'd be more than happy to answer questions. So I suppose a good part of it, I can find out how much his part of it is, but then again, there would be, that, Q&A section that who knows where that would go.
Yeah, well, we can have, so that's the whole thing. We can take a decision about inviting him to the library board. We cannot arrange anything concerning the whole town. Our board is a public, it's always public meeting, always open, so we can advertise it on the library site, let people know that that meeting will take place, and hopefully people will come. We can prepare the questions, but we can't arrange anything on the town of the level. On the level of the town, excuse me. On the level of the town. We cannot arrange.
But you don't want me to do it as far as promoting a program through the library?
We can do it regarding in the library. Regarding the library, we can answer all the questions. We can let people know that it is, you want to invite him as a program of the library, Zoom. I don't know. What do you think?
He suggested that not only do it for our board, but at the same time have it open to people in other areas of the town that would benefit from it, whether it be other boards or individuals in the community, anyone. So it was suggested, and that was because being the program person, we talked and he said that would be a wonderful thing to do if the library presented it as a program. We don't have to. We can just have them come and talk to the board. You're right, the board is open to the public anyways, but it would be nice to promote it in some way, because it's a good thing for, like you say, everybody to know.
Oh, we need it. Oh, we
I
definitely
think
need
Deb is right, because even though our board meetings are open to the public, people usually don't come because we are just discussing business and stuff. If you do it as a program through the library and advertise it, you'll probably get more people showing up.
I think so. Let's do it. I mean, that sounds wonderful. Yes, I did not understand it from the beginning. Yes, I think if we do it as a program, I think it would be great.
Now, again, everybody's got busy lives and we have the holidays coming up. We can certainly wait until the new year. Do you guys, is there one day or evening better than another? Those are things that you just need to think about and let me know so that I can go forward and make plans with him.
I think if we do it.
Are we talking about next week or
after? No. Whenever. No. Any of these, even with Dawn, it's whenever we can do it. It doesn't have to be tomorrow or next week or the week after. It can be when it's convenient for them, all of us.
So I think as for the Tom Hennick program involving him, I think we should stick with Saturday. So it would be really open for the town people. Free day for most.
All right, I'll see if Saturday works for him. And give some thought to Dawn too when you want to get that workshop done.
Yeah, before we talk about scheduling that, we'll need to know how long is the program.
All right, I'll see if I can't find out too, or you can.
Well, you talk to her. She
She's good talking to you, so she gets in touch with you.
Not always. They're busy, but I can, I'm just persistent.
Oh, good. Very good. Okay. I think everything is covered on your report, Debbie.
You're right. On our report it is.
Okay, wonderful.
One
So-
last thing,
Go ahead.
just because I needed to know. You guys have spent almost nothing out of your grant. I totaled up everything that said it was purchased, and it only comes to $2,027.71. You guys have a ton of money still left.
We'll spend every penny of it. We're not going to waste one thing, because if it doesn't get spent, that's just it. When we put in the budget, we had to account for everything, because if we didn't tell them right then and there and show them that we could use it all, they were going to take it away.
Yeah,
So
okay.
we got a little extreme, but that's okay. We're pulling in the reins. We did that on purpose.
Very good.
We had a reason
And
for
that's
that.
most of our PPE.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. So let's move on then. We have committee reports. There was no committee did not meet. So we skip it. Present to speak. So from present to speak, I see only Cassie. I don't know, Cassie, if you're willing to speak, to say anything.
I have nothing to add.
No, I mean, sorry, Lisiu.
Another cat.
Another Cassie. What's the last name? I don't know. From present to speak. Well, we love you, Cassie. So if you don't feel like speaking, it's okay. We just want you to know we really love you.
Amen to that one.
Yeah. So next, new business. We have no new business. We talk about everything. So now, board's concerns. If we have anything, whatever is not on the agenda, but you do have concern or you want to put it on the next agenda, this is a time to address it. So I just want to explain that the board concerns is not board comments. So whatever we speak, especially for Joanne, as so you would know, whatever we speak in regard to the agenda points, that's not board concerns, because we have an opportunity to discuss it when the question comes up in agenda. But the board concerns, those are the questions which are not covered in the agenda, and we can't really discuss them, but you could just throw your concerns, make them public, and then we will be able to address them during the next meeting, the next regular meeting. So if any, go ahead. If no, then no. Okay, then I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:45. Hope.
Can
Second.
I say something? Hope has been here sitting by me so patiently, writing down all these notes and stuff and taking the minutes. I just want, and I know you guys will agree, I just need to say that I know, for example, during this meeting, I've gotten a lot of recognition. I do not do this by myself. I could not do it without Hope. I would not want to do it without Hope. And, believe it or not, I want you to know that this has been very much an equal partnership. We work really great together. We share everything. Like I say, I wouldn't want to do it without her. Couldn't do it, without her. And so she gets that. She gets that credit. I got to say with that too, you guys got to know that twice as much is getting done twice as fast, because we're doing this together. And also kudos goes out to the great group of gals that we have here. We are very small in number, but let me tell you, we are mighty when it comes to getting things done. We work like clockwork. Everything is perfectly run. We all get along well together. We're all doing jobs above and beyond what we're supposed to be doing. We do it not because of the money, because we're not getting any of it. It's because we love our library. So, I want you to know that we don't stand alone. If we were to stand alone, we would probably fall apart. We take get great strength and courage from having one another, supporting one another, helping each other out. And that is the only way that we are able to be successful over the months. And the only way that the library is going to be successful as far as whatever time we have left to do that together. It's a great group of women who care deeply and work their tails off to, do what needs to get done.
Thank you guys very much.
For your service.
Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Hope. We appreciate it. Hold on, Karen, and I see you. Just give me 1 second. I would like to ask if you could please, Debbie, email us all the information on who is working in the library, in which position, and how many hours a week, because we have no idea what's going on in the library from the position from the employee view. So we don't know who is working and how many hours. So we just I think it would be good for us to understand. And
So
if you
the hours that we work or just the hours we get paid for?
well,
there's a big difference.
yes,
Really should put both down.
yeah, no, in reality, we want to know how many people work, what positions they take, what their hourly pay, and how many hours a week they work. So we need to start preparing for the coming budget in January, and it's good if we have information ahead a little bit. That's important for us.
Okay, I think Deb's got a point though. Maybe they should say we got paid for 10 hours, but we were actually there 15, because that could affect the budget.
Yep.
That's only us too.
And I just wanted to say 2 things. I'm thrilled the library is back open because I can now put names and faces together, because I see names on payroll every month. So I met Kathy, I met Jen, and I met Andrea.
Aren't they great?
Yeah.
They're wonderful. Hey,
And Hope, when I addressed Deb earlier, it was not because I was ignoring you. It's just you were off camera.
That's okay.
she's been busy writing the whole time.
That's okay.
Yes.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Yes, well, thank you everyone for the meeting. Thank you for your time. Thank you for volunteering.
Yes,
And
thank you, everybody.
And we started a little bit later. We did not acknowledge Joanne, so welcome on the board, Joanne. We'll learn how to pronounce your last name. Sorry. But thank you so much. Thank you for volunteering. It means a lot for our town, really a lot. We have
You
we
go through a
know
lot.
the price for people when they volunteer, so we appreciate it. Thank you very much for your heart. Thank you.
Okay, well,
Thank
thank you, everybody. Hopefully see you again soon. I'm gonna leave. It's
Yes.
2 hours past dinner time. It's
Yes,
time.
and
Yeah, my stomach's screaming.
okay, let's adjourn the meeting. Okay, let's adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
So 8:49, we adjourn the
Good
meeting.
night.
Okay.
See everybody later, okay?
Okay. Bye.
Take care. Thank you.